Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm early. Do you guys like early, Dev? Let me adjust my mic here. I actually started the stream 1 minute early. Are you surprised? Welcome to the weekly sip, everyone. Let me just hold on. I'm still adjusting my stuff here. How's this? Hey, Dev. Hey. Happy January 6th plus 1. Oh, coffee's good, guys. Get the coffee going. Okay, so listen. Hello. Listen. You should check out Otakuthon. It's a train and metro ride away, and cheap hotels are everywhere. Don't need to bring your car. Where is it? Zontar, is it in Montreal? Cool. Dev's trying to morning voice us. Look what the coffee dragged in. Hello, my little cappuccinos. My little cappuccinos. What should I call you? You guys want to be called couplets? I know, like, Hans over from the Bickering Bunch said call you couplets. But I like cappuccinos. However, I think Kib said that you should be called couchachinos when you're watching the gaming stream because it takes place on a couch, right? $20 from Artemis Fowl. Thank you, dude, for the chair, hat, and Switch replacement fund. Nah, dude, nah. No, Sean. I mean, what should I call the fans? Devachinos. Oh God, that's a deep cut, Dagoth. That's a deep fucking cut. That's from like 2015 or something. Sippers, devotees. Okay, guys. Good morning. How are y'all doing? See, I had like an option today. I was like, should I go to the doctors or should I do the weekly sip? And I almost didn't do the weekly sip. I almost went to the doctors. I have to do like some doctor stuff, but I eventually chose going to doing this instead. I'll go to the doctors on like Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday, to be honest. I got to do a doctor's appointment. Here, let me share this out. So what? Excuse me. Come on, Twitter, figure it out. So there's not much in the way of community news to point out this time, but I have a few things. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Sorry about this. I'm sorry. Let's take it a minute. Shout out for Israel. When's the completionist video? I forgot about the completionist video. I should do that soon, actually. Devonians, it's pretty good. Okay, so listen, guys. Here. I noticed some videos got nuked from your channel. YouTube loves to demonetize you. They do, Tricky Mario. Can you please also have no arguing? Well, I did just get into a big January 6th argument with V yesterday, but we don't have to rehash it. I'm going to be doing the January 6th video probably sometime this spring. Okay, so let me show you something. I did watch the Alex Jones versus Destiny debate, and like, here's the thing: Alex Jones is very entertaining, but when it comes to the facts, Destiny slaughtered him. Destiny was like pulling out testimony from the January 6th committee. He was talking about like actual things that were going on, and Alex was just like ranting and raving. And Alex is very entertaining, and I really enjoy that about him. But in terms of like accuracy, Alex does not have it. Okay, so now speaking to Tricky Mario super chat there about videos getting nuked from my channel, I want to show you something. Here's the Devon Friends channel. Okay, so all the old Tubcasts have been transferred over to the Devon Friends channel. They'll come out one day. So, for example, there'll be one coming out in about 25 minutes. This is yesterday's Tubcast 36. The next Tubcast will be coming out And on the demonetized channel, a bunch of old videos are starting to trickle out on there too. I went through the. I want to get into the habit of doing this like once a month or once every couple of months, but I haven't done it since last year. So all the demonetized videos, all of the copyright struck videos, all the shit like that, right? You know what I'm talking about? All those videos were moved over to side channels because, frankly, they tank the algorithm on the main channel. But I don't want to delete them, so they're moved over, and they'll come out one a day until the backlog has been fully re-released on the C. Yeah, for videos too spicy to go up on the other channels. However, guys, I want to quickly announce something very surprising. I managed to recensor the dog pill video from like 2021, and I think YouTube's finally going to let it come back up. I had to blur a lot of it, but yeah, dude, it's coming. It's finally coming. And no, Mr. Bra, I don't run the demonetized channel. Somebody else does that for me because basically just for legal reasons. But basically, I'll hand off demonetized videos to him, and he'll put them up. Dog pill, let's go. What else really interesting that's been happening? Oh yeah, I'll make sure to announce this well ahead of time when it happens. But there's going to be a new Discord server for all the reasons I mentioned last week or the week before, whatever it was. Basically, Discord's cracking down, shit's hitting the fan. Old logs in there can be used to purge entire servers and get everyone banned on them. So like the old server just has to go. Like if some log from 2015 like nukes me, I lose my account, and then everyone else in there loses their account too. So like Discord's become so fucking terrible. We have to like make a new sanitized server, police it more heavily, and then nuke the old one. Just in case, I will announce before the server gets nuked if you want to back anything up. So this is coming in the near future, but not right away. So you will have and of course you'll have the opportunity to join the new server as well once it's open. But basically, we're gonna have to nuke it, unfortunately. R.I.P. It's just how it is, you know. I mean, it does suck losing all the original views, likes, and comments in the videos, but I don't care that much, to be honest. So that's what we've been working on so far. Is I got back to the gaming streams after like a 2-week break. It was nice to take a break. I moving videos over to side channels and setting up a new Discord server. That's what's been happening. And of course, new videos, right? They're coming soon too. I've been working on them as well. Don't worry, the content will return. It won't just be TikTok Tuesdays and weekly sips and gaming streams. Videos will in fact return. Oh man, coffee's keeping me going. I'm gonna have to put the server down like Dave. Oh yeah, the construction here seems to be pretty much done, House of Haas, which is quite nice. Hey, C. Dranzer. Actually, C. Dranzer. You've been around for a long time, and I do trust you, even though we have like political disagreements. But I do. I think I know who you are. You've been around for a while. If you want, I'm looking for some new mods. If you if there are people who have been like longtime viewers that I know and trust, you can be a mod if you want. So if you're interested, C. Dranzer, send me a DM on Discord, and we'll set it up. Okay. Hey, Rachel. How's it going? Oh yeah, dude, it's been snowing. It's snowing. I think it's snowing right now, actually. Like, we had a green Christmas this year, but now like the snow is finally coming in. Anyway, I don't have many articles today, like a normal amount, but let's get to them, okay? Let's get to them. As always, here's our PO box. Send us stuff if you want. If you want to put things in a box and send it to us, we will open it on stream. Yeah, I know my content has been dry as of late, Tricky Mario. I'm sorry, but it's coming back. You know what? Actually, I think maybe Vyvanse will actually work out for me if I try it. Who knows, right? Who knows? One of the big reasons why I'm so fat is because whenever I walk by the kitchen, I snack, and that's definitely an ADHD symptom. So I guess we'll see. Have to deliver mail today. Packages in foot tall snow. That sucks, man. That sucks. Oh, also, depending on how much stuff I get done today, I might do a bonus gaming stream tonight. So be back for that, okay? Yeah. Be back for that if you don't mind. You guys ready? Let's get right to it. Okay, so surely you've seen this, right? A man attacked a Las Vegas judge in her courtroom during his sentencing. Surely you've seen this by now. Whoa! Dude, that fucking jump. He flew like a Five Nights at Freddy's character, dude. That's wild. Don't want to be a mob, but could you give me the glowy Fed roll? Yeah, Rasta. Actually, the new server will probably have a lot less in the way of joke rolls. We got to be more serious about it this time, unfortunately. But thank you for the $5, Rasta. Also, thanks for the super chats and stuff today. Oh, and Artemis, I know that you dropped $20 earlier. I just wanted to say, I know that I ultimately disagree with you with all the evidence you sent, but I do thank you for sending it to me. Like, it helped quite a bit. I am going to ultimately come down against your position. Your evidence actually convinced me more that the 2020 election was real, but I do appreciate you sending it to me nonetheless. So yeah, here's the full video. Let's check this shit out, dude. That's his lawyer. He's had like a bunch of robberies under his belt. This was like an attempted battery. He's like a minor career criminal, you know?
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court
Yeah! Yep, she was going to sentence him to something rougher because he's a career criminal. And he just jumps. And now, like a lawyer jumps in, and security jumps in. Yeah, everyone's talking about this guy here who can't throw a punch, right? He can't really throw a punch. But he's trying his best, you know? Like, this is some insane bullshit, dude. What the fuck? Like, imagine being his lawyer here. It's like, well... Yeah, the judge got fucked up, by the way. Like, the judge has like a concussion or something. Like, look at this moron, dude. And there's the alarm. Okay, I'm muting it now. Fuck. But yeah, like, oop, mute again. Okay. Look at it. See, he jumps, and like he just flew over the whole fucking thing. That's like Palpatine jumping over his desk. And then one security guard jumps on him, and a lawyer jumps on him, and they're both trying to hold him back, right? And they're fighting with him, and then this lawyer starts just punching him in the back, but it's these like really pussy punches. See, like he doesn't know how to punch, but he's doing his best, so good for that. But like, yeah, she's under the desk and she's like, she has a concussion from that. Like, she's fucked up. Wow. Wild, dude. Now, someone is saying, this is a full video of the mentally ill man who's upset after getting denied his probation. Let's pray he gets the help he needs. The system has failed him. Like, what the fuck, dude? No, just because he's black doesn't mean that he's a victim. Like, he can take some fucking accountability for this shit, dude. And yeah, the man who brazenly attacked the judge during sentencing said he was having a bad day. Oh, is that reason enough, dude? Wow. He's having a bad day. I had a bad day, okay. The man who brazenly attacked a Las Vegas judge after leaping over the bench. Dude, it was an incredible jump too. Like, he flew. That guy can high jump. The man who brazenly attacked, like, okay, it's just, I have to watch it again. Like, the way he just, like, it's a full, like, high jump over. Like, he clears the whole, it's not like he had to, put a leg up and, hop up with a knee or something. He just cleared it. Like, that's impressive. Okay, so. He leaped over the bench and slammed her into a wall, told corrections officers he had a bad day, and he tried to kill her. Why would you admit that? Why would you fucking admit that, dude? Court cameras showed the moment that Deobra Redden, his name's Deobra Redden, 30, appeared to Superman over a bench during a hearing Wednesday and pushed Clark County District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus against a wall. A brawl between him and court officials ensued, and 3 people were injured. Yeah, see, Holthus was preparing to sentence him on a charge of attempted battery with substantial bodily harm when he rocketed across the room. After the attack, he told a marshal, the judge has it out for me and the judge is evil. The marshal apologized, saying, I'm sorry you guys had to see that. In the melee, he slammed her head against the wall, struck her once on the head, and pulled out some of her hair. After the attack, one witness said the judge hid under her desk, balled up, covering her face. The judge was back in court on Thursday, was treated in the Justice Center, and later brought to a hospital by a family member for her pain. He was, the judge described him as big, strong, and angry. Damn. Wait. Her marshal, the judge's marshal in the courtroom, Shane Brandon, was preparing to handcuff the guy when he vaulted across the room. He tripped while trying to apprehend him, dislocated his shoulder, and received 25 stitches to a... Holy shit, okay, you trip, and your injury from the trip is a dislocated shoulder and a cut requiring 25 stitches. That's like a critical fail on the trip roll, dude. Like, what the fuck? Love you, but you said on Adam and Sitch that the Arch cast is far right. Arch is definitely right-leaning, for sure. I'm okay with that, though. Like, we're friends. But Arch is definitely right-leaning. That's fine. I don't... If I said far right, I'm mistaken. He is, like, center-right, Arch. And he's still my friend, so that's okay. Thank you for the $5. You can clip that and send it to him if you like. Insert Mario Jump SFX here. Thanks, Willison. Artemis Fowl definitely gets his views from Destiny, but wants his medication as well. I get the joke, Artemis. Listen, Artemis. Here, I don't get my views from Destiny, but when people cite sources, I tend to read them and examine them, right? So, for example, I've also read the January 6th committee documents, just like Destiny has. And after reading them, I came to largely the same conclusion because, you read a thing, you're like, oh, it's there, right? on some levels, like, once you read something, the conclusion kind of lays itself out and becomes self-evident. It's like, oh, with this evidence and this evidence and this evidence, there's a natural conclusion that follows, right? Same with your evidence too, Artemis. Like I looked at your evidence too. The issue is that their evidence is just stronger. I do appreciate it though. As for the medication, the issue is that I have a lot of the ADHD symptoms. All right, like here, let me show you. Let me show you real quick. Okay, where is it? Okay. Some of these are bullshit. Let's see. Okay. Any first degree family member was diagnosed with ADHD, so not my family. The patient was diagnosed with ADHD as a child or adolescent, not me. Okay. The patient feels a calming, focused sensation on a psychostimulant, energy drink, cannabis, or cocaine. That is me, right? So, but it's for coffee. Coffee is pretty common. The patient has psychometric testing as a child or adolescent that suggested they had a learning disability, particularly a problem with working memory. Not me. In fact, I was considered a gifted child. The patient or family member might say, I think I have ADHD, which is, I mean, I am thinking that, but self-ID is not great. The patient has a current diagnosis of depression or anxiety, which I don't, by the way. I have experienced depressive episodes when I was in my 20s, not anytime recently. And I have experienced anxiety once or twice, but not anytime recently. But so it's like, it's basically just this. However, I've looked at like certain habits that ADHD people have, right? And they roughly line up with my habits, you know, bursts of extreme ability to actually get work done, hyperfixation on something that has a consistent reward path, like video games. I can play a video game for 16 hours, no problem. Definitely, coffee does not make me fidgety. It like calms me down and makes me focus. That's definitely part of it. Oh yeah, a big reason why I'm so fat is because I'm constantly eating every time I walk by through the kitchen, and it's generally due to boredom. So like, I think a lot of the ADHD symptoms like match up. Well, no, I'm going here. No, Miss Sparkles, I'm going to get an actual diagnosis. Saw your hard truth tweet. $10. Thanks, Adherent to Lady Columbia. I understand your point, but it's been proven by studies that the right is more attractive and the left's claim of education is slowly being worked away, and the appeal of cities. I completely agree with you. I know what you mean by that. But the reason that I was outlining the basic averages is to just show like how it is the case. Yeah, I'll just show you the tweet, okay? And then I'll tell you the problems with the tweet, but I'll show you the tweet. And I've said this on multiple streams and like other places before. Okay. Some rightoids got mad about it, but it was definitely the truth. Where is it? Where is it? Where the fuck is it? God damn it. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second, okay, guys? How far down do we gotta scroll? Okay, here we go. Here's my hard truth tweet. I found it, okay? I spend more time critiquing the left than I do the right, not because I'm anti-left or because I'm pro-right. It's because the left-wing ideas tend to be more developed, more institutionally supported in our society, and generally harder to critique. This is true. Now, I give, if you want me to read this, I can. I give like a TLDR of like what your average right-winger is versus your average left-winger. Then I say that the right, when the right is incorrect, it's very simple to understand, and it's not dangerous to critique because the right has no institutional power. And when the left is incorrect, it's complicated to understand, and it's very dangerous to critique them because they have a lot of institutional power, right? So the development of their intellectualism and the amount of cultural power they have behind them is not the same between the left and the right. Generally, when a leftist idea is incorrect, it is harder to figure out how, or it's more complicated to figure out how, at least. And also, it is more dangerous to critique it. They're not the same, right? So that's why I spend more time critiquing the left. It's not because I have this great love for the right. I do not really care about the right that much, just as I don't really care about the left that much either. I care about what's correct, first and foremost. Yeah. The NRX people getting mad about your position and the fact that it's a paraphrase of Moldbug is amusing to watch. Yeah, I took, like, when I read Moldbug, there were some things he was, like, ridiculous on, right? By the way, Moldbug is, he's like a neo-reactionary. He's like a pretty far-right writer, but he's very intelligent. When I read Moldbug, I disagree with a lot of it, but this is directly out of his thought, and he's correct about this, right? That the left is complicated and strong, and the right is not so complicated and weak. I'm like, that actually makes sense. And that's why it seems like someone like me, who's on the center, critiques the left more than the right. Not because we like the right more than we like the left, we don't, but because leftism is harder to critique. $5, Tricky Mario. I feel bad for regular African Americans who have to put up with these idiots, making them look bad. When I talk to Daily, so she hates these people. Oh yeah, lots of black people that I know say the same thing. They're like these people make us fucking look bad. That even if you actually have ADHD or autism, the people that watch you are anti-medication and anti-doctor. They want you to tough it out, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Here's the thing. When I do tough it out, I can get myself to work at like peak efficiency roughly 30% of the time, which is why you see me go through like stopping and starting spurts of ability to like get content out, right? But I just want to try it, you know? I've really enjoyed the fact that I've been able to get as far as I can without medication, but I'm gonna probably go on some type of meds for a month and just see how it works out. If after a month they suck, I'm gonna stop them. Like, I have no like ideological connection to the idea that I should be on meds. You know what I mean? Zerg 1337 for $5. Thank you. I'm pondering on religion, so forgive me the questions. It is immoral if a male gets a uterine transplant to have a kid. Is it immoral? I mean, if everything works and there's no side effects, it's probably morally neutral. Some people will find it disgusting and they don't have to do it, right? But it's certainly weird, but immoral. I mean, if all else is equal, like they're not abusing the kid and like everything isn't above board, no one's like being forced into anything, is the act itself in a vacuum immoral? Probably not. It's probably just morally neutral. It's not like, it's not, you know, it's not moral in and of itself. It's not like a positive moral. It's just neutral. Yeah. Okay. Anatolope, the Greek, thanks for the $2. Is your rebrand going to be called Devstiny? Ha, fuck you. Artemis Fowl, $10. Recency bias. Destiny fails consistently at current events due to his inability to see things happen in real time and accurately predict what happens next. Looking at things 50 years ago is fine. I assume that's why Artemis Fowl, you presumably, I've seen a lot of people say this, I think you're in this camp. You like my videos on like old political theory, but you don't like my current stuff about like things happening right now. The issue is like, I remember I was talking to Yiz the Eunuch, whom I don't talk to anymore because of all the radicalization post 2020. But I was talking to Yiz the Eunuch about the electors, right? Like the alternate slate of electors, and I was like, listen, like she was losing her shit because they wouldn't let them into the building. I'm like, listen, if Trump's legal campaigns are successful, he has to have an alternate slate of electors ready to go, which is why they're doing this. But if they're not successful, then these are illegal electors, right? So the basically like what they were doing with the electors hinged on the fact they were hoping to get their court cases through, but then they lost all of them, right? I'm bringing this up because I remember at the time knowing exactly what was going on and being like, okay, these electors will be fraudulent if Trump doesn't win his court cases, or like a recount or something else happens, right? And I was right about that. I mean, I saw that in real time. And it turns out that now that it's been 3 years, looking back, that interpretation of events that I gave to Yiz was correct, right? I think a lot of the basically the more that I've looked into January 6th, the more that I agree that yep, the election was not stolen, and that Trump himself likely planned some sort of a self coup, not a specific like violent coup, but a self coup. Here, I'll show you this here. Okay, hold on. You know what? Actually, here, I'll do it like this. Okay, here we go. A self coup, or an auto coup, or a coup from the top, is a form of coup in which a nation's head, having come to power through legal means, tries to stay in power through illegal means. So, a normal coup requires like the military to get involved or some sort of violence to like seize power, right? But a self coup is when you've already come to power through legal means. So, Trump got elected legally in 2016. And then he tried to stay in power, like he tried to extend his power beyond its natural limit through illegal means, which is what happened, right? Which is why, for example, Hitler was a self coup with the Enabling Acts, right? Hitler didn't violently overthrow the government or anything like that. And yet, Julius Caesar, that was a self coup because he already held power when he extended his power, right? Oh. Let's keep reading super chats. Stigma, thanks for the $10, dude. Hey, Dev, I just got here. I watched the VOD a bit. I want to know if you saw my comment on your demonetized Patreon video and what you think about doing a follow-up on it. Patreon's basically stagnated. Like, it didn't die, but it's kind of just become this insular circle jerk. It's probably going to keep going for a while, but like it's not growing anymore. It just is what it is. I don't know if there's anything more for me to say about it. I could, I guess, but I don't think there's much meat on the bone there. Artemis Fowl, $10. When dealing with current events where studies and sources are hyperpartisan, Destiny and you fail to properly scrutinize factual data and default trusting institutional sources that are biased. Okay, here's the thing, right? Like, how many pages was the January 6th committee? Like 850. How many interviewees did they have? Like, was it hundreds of people interviewed? Like, let me see. All right. How many people did the Jan 6th committee interview? 300 witnesses and 35,000 documents. Oh no, by May 2022, I had over 1,000 witnesses. Okay, so like, it is certainly possible that some people are just lying, right? But as you've told me several times, Artemis, testimony under oath carries some weight with it because penalty of perjury exists, right? We have over 1,000 people testifying under oath. Now, either all 1,000 of them from different backgrounds, different jobs, different interests, different political parties, different affiliations, all of it, they're all lying under oath. Or there's some factual basis of what's being said there. Lady Columbia, $10. Thank you. Do you think the left's attachment to detached rationalism, not reason, allows the question of, is this attached to reality appropriate without disregarding conceptualization? Absolutely, right? That is the left's biggest problem, is that they're like too intellectual, which kind of sounds strange, but like they're like divorced from the practical on the ground reality of being human in a lot of cases, which is a big problem with the left. $5 sketch. You guys are using a physical planner book and writing stuff down. Might be better than going on meds for keeping yourself on a regiment. I've tried that. It hasn't worked out. I haven't been able to keep it up. Thank you though. Next as well, $5. Thank you. Hey Dev, first time donating and been binge watching all your vids. So entertaining. Where do I learn more about liberal conservatism? Because I lean it. Best place to start is the Wikipedia page. You can read guys like Edmund Burke. Burke is pretty good. Christopher Latch is not bad. Michael Oakeshott, they're all pretty good sources. Zerg for $5. Does it make me a bigot or religious if there should be a natural flow in life? Also, stay longer on the Archcast. It's great. Listen, I gotta go do my own stream sometime, you know? There should be a natural flow in life, right? Like you can't go back to being a kid. You can't go back to being in your 20s. You can't go back to being in your 30s after you've passed them, right? You know, you don't get to be the in vogue young revolutionary or whatever the case may be forever, right? Like you don't get to be the person around whom society is structured and society idolizes for your entire life. You don't get to be that person unless you're like an elite, which none of us are going to be, right? So it might be really fun to live in the downtown area of a big city when you're like 21, and let's say, you know, maybe you're in school, maybe you're like working like a kind of a cool job, maybe you're hooking up with people, you know, you're living that kind of cosmopolitan life, and you can have like people who say you shouldn't do that because, you know, the cities are degenerate. It's actually pretty fun to do sometimes, but you grow out of it, right? Like by the time, like if you're still doing at 45, you're still living that life, right? Something's gone wrong. You know, there's a lot of fun in hedonism and the call to adventure and all of that, but at some point, your tastes should shift, and that's part of just like a natural part of your life. You know what I mean? Ernest Fowl, $5. Incorrect, Dev. They can't be fraudulent. Mercator is correct on this topic. The legislature has sole authority in determining electors. Okay. When Pence rejected them, they became fraudulent. How about that? I watched the Destiny versus Mercator conversation. Mercator's argument seems to boil down to the law is messy and has a bunch of loose ends and fuzzy edges, and it was written a long time ago, so we really don't know which way the court will decide when the court decides, which is probably technically true, but I guarantee you nobody is going to say create false electors that were not verified by the states, bring them to the Senate, and then the vice president uses them as a mechanism by which to leverage a different winner of an election, like someone who didn't win the election, into power. Like none of the fucking people who wrote the Constitution wanted that. Nobody looks at the Constitution or the laws and say this is what we should do. It's a legal loophole, right? And if you think that like exploiting a loophole is possible, it probably is possible, right? But is it immoral? It's definitely immoral, and it's good that the loophole was closed. Zerg, $5. How many singles and couples were forced to change their vote due to mail-in ballots because of Hitler? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Holstein, $5. Thank you. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I've sent you a short for TikTok Tuesday. Hope you're avoiding just fighting the chat. We're gonna get through the articles in a minute. I appreciate the super chats, but I gotta keep going though. Holstein, $5. If you consider taking testosterone, so you just get your levels checked. I know a lot of guys who benefited from it physically and mentally. I don't think my testosterone's a problem. I've got like fucking testosterone related hair loss coming in, so I don't think the tea is the problem, dude. Artemis, $10. Dev, you took the penalty of perjury scenario and tossed it into the garbage when it came to Arizona ballot stuff. I need you to find a standard and stick to it. Here's the thing, Artemis. When you sent me that 3-hour video of We the People Arizona doing that audit, I believe they found problems, so they wouldn't be perjuring themselves. But I also believe that what I found from the Maricopa County Elections Board and their officials saying, here's why their audit sucked, that seems to be more plausible than anything that they found. But thank you for the $10, Artemis. $2 from Antelope. Purity spy on the right getting as bad as the progs. Thank you. I think it is, yes. Brian Linden, $5. How can the alternate state of electors be fine if he wins his cases, but retroactively illegal if he doesn't? Something is either illegal or isn't. Here's the thing, dude. The cold, hard, black pill about politics and power and law is that if you do something that is illegal and you get away with it, and then you take power, you'll make it legal, right? Like, it sucks, but on some level, the law does flow from power, which is why those in power have to be responsible to not use or bend or change the law in a partisan manner. My 20s have just been work, no travel or cities. Well, that's good though, adherent. I mean, kinda. As long as you're saving money, like work for the future, dude. Yeah. Wholesale, $10. I don't know if I agree with that, Dev. I go to metal shows all the time and see old people there all the time. As you age, you should have more stability and productivity, but there's always room for adventure. Oh, I'm not saying you shouldn't be adventurous as you get older. I'm not saying that, Holtznader. I'm saying that certain things change, right? Like, I was comfortable living in a fucking box when I was 20 because I was going to school and I knew that I was saving for the future. I want like a bigger house now, right? Like, things have changed for me. And I think a lot of people, like, you shouldn't want to live in a tiny box on like a 15th floor of an apartment building because you want to live downtown close to all the bars and all the party scenes in perpetuity. Like, that's something that you can enjoy and it can be quite fun for a while, but you should want to move out of eventually. That's what I mean. Let's continue with the articles, though. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are great, even if you disagree. Let's go. There you go. Artemis. $10. When the law is fuzzy or unclear, it's the fault of the writers. The people subject to it cannot be punished for the badly worded laws. This is a legal standard in the U.S. I mean, yes and no. It really depends on how egregious the people pushing the boundaries of a fuzzy law are actually, like how egregious they're actually acting, right? I think overthrowing an election is probably pretty egregious. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you, Holtznader. Thanks for the donations, guys. Okay, let's go. Rumors indicate that Christopher Nolan will direct at least 2 James Bond movies. You guys like Christopher Nolan? I think he's like okay. I liked Oppenheimer. That was quite fun. I enjoyed his Batman movies. According to recent rumors, Christopher Nolan could legitimately be the next James Bond director. Nolan is in talks to write and direct at least 2 Bond films, which would be period pieces that would take place in the era in which Ian Fleming originally set them. I like this idea. Like, James Bond is kind of aged out. Like, it's kind of strange, right? Because James Bond was from the early Cold War period, right? And they keep like pushing the timeline forward, like they did with Star Trek and with The Simpsons and with all these shows. They keep making it modern, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you go back and watch like a recent Simpsons episode, Homer is the age. Homer was born. Okay, Homer was born in the current Simpsons timeline earlier than when Bart was born when the show first started, because they just keep pushing. It's like a timeless show. They just keep pushing the timeline forward. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So, like, the fact that James Bond just continues to exist for 70 years and doesn't really change doesn't make any sense, right? So if we're going to do if we're doing period pieces, that'd be actually kind of cool. Apparently it's just a rumor, though. Okay. The influence of those movies in my filmography is embarrassingly apparent. It would be an amazing privilege to do one. Let's hope, dude. Like, I loved Oppenheimer. It was a really good movie. Let's hope. Nintendo Live 2024 in Tokyo has been canceled due to staff and attendees receiving threats. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay. On December 7th, Nintendo shared a statement on its Japanese website announcing that its upcoming in-person events have either been canceled or postponed. The main event, Nintendo Live 2024, was set to take place in Tokyo from January 20th to 21st in 2024, but has since been completely canceled as Nintendo claims the safety of the audience cannot be adequately ensured, following the threats made to employees and some attendees. Holy shit, dude. Nintendo has received persistent threats targeting its employees, and most recently, the threats have targeted the audience and staff of the Splatoon Koshin 2023 National Finals, leading to the decision to postpone the event. Yep, the December 16th, 17th event was delayed. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Online Challenge Final Stage, World Championship 2024, Splatoon 3 World Championship 2024. Yep, they've been rescheduled. You're just getting... Jesus. Like that. What the fuck, dude? That's nuts. Okay. $5 from Zerg, thank you. How many people had to change their vote because their girlfriend or family would see it? I don't know, dude. That's funny. Can you imagine, like, you don't get to have sex if you don't vote the way I want you to vote? It's like, okay, oh shit. Today on Dev milking Artemis like a cow. Don't be mean to Artemis, Resta. Thank you for the $2, but don't be mean to Artemis. Columbia, do you think all laws from power? Yes. Here's the thing. The postmodernists are correct when they say that like everything flows down from power, right? Like, however, you get people like Vosh who say therefore only power matters, which is not the truth, right? That's not how it is. Like, you can seize power and then make reality what you want it to be, but the truth eventually snaps back, right? And power can only hold your construction in place for so long. That's why like more authoritarian regimes tend to fail eventually, right? And it's also why power is considered this corrupting force. Like, power is necessary, but if your use of power is not aligned with truth, eventually the natural world will come in and just sweep you aside. And that's the lesson, is that, like, you know, the power question has to be answered first, right? It has to be answered before you talk about economics. It has to be answered before you talk about anything that society does. Like, are we all under the same power structure? Are we all playing for the same team? Do we all agree on what the hierarchy of society should be? That's the power question. And then once we all agree on that, for better or worse, we can then start having conversations about, well, how should education be set up, or economics, or what's the best way? All those other questions are second order questions to the question of power, which is why anarchism never wins. No matter what type of anarchism it is, it always collapses in the face of united power. So, but at the same time, that leads people to believe that therefore you can do anything you want with power, but you can't, because truth still exists, right? What's the opposite of Christopher Walken? I'm not sure. Dude. Is that a joke that I'm going to see in a minute? Yeah, see here. Ballcraft says truth doesn't exist. There is only force. That's the wrong point of view, right? That's the wrong point of view. The fact that you view it that way is kind of the problem, because force can get you to do a lot of things. You can set up some great constructions with force, but if your application of force doesn't align with truth, you will fall apart. Okay, let's keep going. A river of wine throws through Portugal City streets after tanks break at a distillery. Oh my god. What pairs well with a wine that has flowed down a street? Christopher Reeves is the opposite of Christopher Walken. Nice, dude. Nice. More than 580,000 gallons spilled from 2 storage tanks Sunday. Jesus. There were no injuries, but the wine did spill into the cellar of a residence. Firefighters reportedly diverted the wine into fields that would not flow into a nearby river. Oh no, you destroyed the crops in the fields. That's fucking wild. So apparently the distillery says they assume full responsibility for the costs associated with cleaning and repairing the damage. Damn. Let's see. That's a lot of fucking wine, dude. Look at it go. This is a pretty big oops, isn't it? Damn. Oh yeah. This is from the game Walking Dead Destinies. Once you beat the game, The Walking Dead Destinies, they misspell walking in the title. There's a D instead of a G. How did you guys fuck that up? This is like Lord of Ring Gollum shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Go open the Archcast cellar. Speaking of video games, BioWare is laying off 50 employees. BioWare General Manager Gary McKay said reorganizing its teams was necessary as the Electronic Arts studio rethinks its approach to development. In order to meet the needs of our upcoming projects, continue to hold ourselves to the highest standard of quality, and ensure BioWare continue to thrive in an industry that's rapidly evolving, we must shift towards a more agile and more focused studio. It will allow our developers to iterate quickly, unlock more creativity, form a clear vision of what we're building before development ramps up. After much consideration and careful planning, we have built a long-term vision that will preserve the health of the studio and better enable us to do what we do best. Create exceptional story-driven single-player experiences. Yeah, okay, but when we actually make a decent game, BioWare, it's been like 10 years. This vision balances the current needs of the studio, namely ensuring that Dragon Age Dreadwolf is an outstanding game, with its future, including the success of the next Mass Effect. Okay, so they're laying off staff, but they do want these games, Dragon Age Dreadwolf and the next Mass Effect, to be good. Let's fucking hope they are. Okay, $5 from Zerg. How can mail-in ballots not be institutionalized bigotry against right-wingers at the time and place? Well, why would they be? I mean, if you're a right-winger, you can still send in a mail-in ballot. Just go and send it in. Yeah. Microsoft employees aren't happy that they're losing free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So, in this next article, it turns out that Microsoft is really tightening the belts to the point that if you're an employee, you no longer get the perk of free Game Pass. That was a perk, by the way. If you work for Microsoft, you get free Game Pass. Not anymore. Let's see. Microsoft is removing the free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate benefit for most of its 238,000 employees, and some aren't happy about it. Sources familiar with Microsoft's plans tell The Verge that the company started informing employees this week that in January of 2024, the free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate benefit for the permanent Microsoft employees will no longer be available. I mean, how much money was that actually costing them? $238,000. What is it, like $100 a month or a year or something? That's a fair amount. Yeah. I would love for when a company does layoffs to say these people were a drain on resources and were not vital, valuable, or pleasant to work with. Pretty much, Wilson, because there's like, you have like left wingers who are like, you're laying people off. It's terrible. It's like, well, hold on. What if they were all just leeches? Because lots of these companies have like a bunch of fat that could be cut out for sure. Okay. Some Microsoft employees have taken to the company's internal messaging platform to voice their objections about the benefit being removed. The employee posts even prompted Xbox chief Phil Spencer to respond, noting that he wasn't aware of the changes and he's looking into the situation. Even Phil Spencer's like, is this happening? Okay, dude. The removal of the Microsoft employee benefit comes months after Xbox Game Pass saw a price hike. Went from $14.99 to $16.99. Yeah, that's right. I'm glad I bought the Xbox Series X before the price increase. Anyway, Dave has a Game Pass account, and he really loves it because a lot of those games you're not going to play more than once anyway, so he doesn't really care about owning them. He just wants to play through them. Like when it comes to a game that I really, really want to own a copy of, I'll get a copy of it. But for some of those like mid-level games you just want to try out or you're just going to play once, you don't really care about owning a physical copy, Game Pass is pretty nice. Kamiya thinks that Japan should be proud of JRPG and wants to use J-Action. Yeah, dude. Well, let me have some coffee here. The coffee is done. I'm all out. Zerg, I'm not sure that actually applies. I don't know about that, dude. I don't think that makes any sense. Thanks for the $2. I don't think it makes any sense. I mean, you can still just vote through. If you want to have if you're a right winger, you want to use mail-in ballot, just vote with the mail-in ballot. Just do it. Like, go ahead. Nothing's stopping you. I'm not firing you. I'm freeing you from wage slavery. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, so I made a video about JRPG like last year, I think. The controversy surrounding the use of the term JRPG. It was a good video because there was definitely a period of time in like the late 2000s, early 2010s where people who loved JRPGs were just maligned, even though JRPGs are frankly great. Platinum Games vice president. Wait, didn't he leave Platinum? Didn't Hideki Kamiya? Hold on. Platinum Games vice president Hideki Kamiya said he thinks Japan should be proud of the term JRPG, amid fresh claims it could be considered discriminatory to Japanese developers. The JRPG term was popularized in the early 90s as a means to repress and video game fans to differentiate between PC RPGs, which were mostly made by Western developers, and console RPGs, which were mostly made up of Japanese franchises such as Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. However, in the years since, as interest in Japanese-made RPGs declined, has it really declined though? I don't think so. There were some instances of discriminatory language as used to describe them by both critics and developers, and some Japanese creators spoke out against the term. Earlier this year, this is a late 2023 article. Final Fantasy XVI producer Naoki Yoshida told SkillUp that he wasn't a big fan of the term JRPG at all, saying that in the past it felt like a discriminatory term with negative connotations. For us as Japanese developers, the first time we heard it, it was like a discriminatory term, as though we were being made fun of for creating these games. And so for some developers, the term can be something that will maybe trigger bad feelings because of what it was in the past. See, I think it was just a convenient way to like differentiate between genres, and also JRPGs are great. Like they're fucking amazing. Well, some of them are. Call in show for $5 when Holtznader post new server. So in a recent interview at Platinum Games headquarters, Hideki Kamiya was asked, he was creator of Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, if he shared Yoshida's views. Kamiya's answer was extensive, and he argued that the term is something Japanese developers should be proud of, and in his opinion, cultural differences justify the differentiation in subgenres. I have a lot to say on this, he said. Just to be clear at first, though, I have a positive sentiment when it comes to the term JRPG. Indeed, I think it's something we should be proud of. In my creative life up until now, there have been two things that left a huge impression on me, which I still think about to this day. The first of these was a localization issue with the manga Fist of the North Star. And it's just a localization of sound effects. Yeah. Using language to express a unique atmosphere. Yeah, this is you know what? I should. I'm making a localization video. Maybe I'll save this for the localization video. And then he gave a second example about Ultraman. Yeah. Okay. So this seems like a very long point that Kamiya was making. Kamiya argued that, in his opinion, Japanese game developers exhibit similar cultural differences when making their games, giving the differences between Bayonetta and God of War as an example. When you look at God of War, you have Kratos. He's muscly, he's huge, he's bald, he looks really kick-ass. So we thought, okay, we have games like this which are becoming more popular globally. Could we create something similar from a Japanese standpoint? The conclusion was no, we can't, because this is something that is not unique to us as Japanese creators. So in order to make an action game that would stand out, we needed to create something that expressed our unique sensitivities as Japanese creators, and Bayonetta was a result of that. That makes sense, you know what? That makes sense. Not everything has to be the same. Not every culture is different. And not everything needs to be made for a globalized, standardized audience, right? If everything is globalized and standardized, then you lose all the uniqueness of something coming from one particular culture. So I think this makes sense. I'm going to hold on to this article for later. Let's see here. 20 shekels. Thanks, Ian. The problem with mail-in voting is that you can't verify at all the right person voted and did so discreetly. The discreet thing is a problem, yes, but generally you can do signature matches, right? Which is what a lot of them do. And here to Lady Columbia, $5. So, Deb, do you believe culture dictates power or help to fight against it? Hence the obvious listeners' version of education and media. It can do both. It can be either, man. These things don't all flow in one way. Thanks for the donations, though, guys. Aardman is about to run out of clay. Now the Chicken Run creators face a crisis. So, movies like this made out of clay, they're running out of clay. Dude, clay is almost gone. We're in the clay apocalypse. 5 pounds from Nitrique. French localization of Fist of the North Star was notorious. You should go look into it. Maybe I will. I don't know much about the French localization of things. I saw like a German localization go viral recently, like a cute, clumsy elf girl, and how apparently the German localization was like perfection. You know what I mean? Oh, you can keep being perv and horny, Sparkles. I don't mind. Keep doing it. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can fucking get that. Goddamn. Is there any archive of this article? You got an archive. Okay, great. Great. As Wallace himself might say, oh heck, a crisis has descended upon Aardman Animations. The world-renowned stop-motion studio is about to run out of clay. Ever since its founding in the early 1970s, Aardman has molded its characters from Louis Newplast, a modeling material named after one Mr. Lewis, an art teacher from Chislehurst, who concocted the stuff in his garden shed. The plasticine-like substance is an animator's dream. It's easy to mold, yet it keeps its shape under hot studio lights. But in March this year, the only factory that made it, on the outskirts of Torquay, shut up shop. When its closure was announced, Aardman bought up every last block of Louis Newplast that remained in the warehouse. Enough for just one more film, the new Wallace and Gromit, coming in 2024. After that, until a suitable replacement can be found or invented, that's it. This leaves the beloved animation house in what might be called its hour of need. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Yet when I visit Aardman's premises on the outskirts of Bristol mere days after the bad news broke, it hasn't noticeably dampened anyone's creative spirit. In the workshop, a small army of artists are working great rainbow dollops of Newplast into familiar shapes. The cast of Chicken Run, whose second adventure arrives in cinemas and on Netflix this month, or next month. Subtitled Dawn of the Nugget, it's Aardman's ninth feature and a sequel to its very first, which 23 years on remains the most successful stop-motion film ever made. Fuck Chicken Run, dude. Wait, 0x3 Nilo, name the names, name the books. What are you talking about? What do you mean, name the names, name the books? What are you talking about, dude? And thanks for the donation, but what do you mean? I mean, could you do decent CG claymation nowadays? I don't know. To be honest, I never really liked these movies. I know everyone says like Wallace and Gromit was. Did anyone really like them? Like, I guess some people did. They kept going for years and years. So I guess someone liked them, but it never really did it for me. You know, this news doesn't bother me that much. Maybe just me. You know what I mean? I think this type. Maybe it was. Maybe I just don't like claymation. I kind of like claymation. I think I just don't like Wallace and Gromit. You know what I mean? What do you have against Chicken Run? All the bullshit fucking Wii games that came out about Chicken Run. Santa Inc. had okay CG clay animation. Wasn't Santa Inc. real animation? Like real clay animation? I loved him, Devs to Foo. Okay, apparently everyone likes Wallace and Gromit except for me. I'm sorry, dude. All right, sorry. I'll I didn't like it, guys. I'm sorry. Hank the Tank, the legendary, incredibly rotund bear outlaw, has been captured. Look at this fucking dude, guys. A bear dubbed Hank the Tank, who was linked with 21 burglaries, is headed to a wildlife refuge after wildlife officials captured her on Friday. The search for Hank the Tank began early last year after the food-habituated Bruin began using brute force to invade residences around the area, prying open dumpsters and emptying local refrigerators. While the rotund Bruin, an estimated 500 pounds, gained a bit of local following, officials became concerned that her behavior was crossing the line from curious to dangerous after she broke into a fully secured home through a window using her 500-pound body. Holy shit. Yeah. Hank the Tank, our big bear friend who has adopted the Tahoe Keys neighborhood as his residential area, is trying harder and harder to prove to the Keys HOA they need to allow bear boxes. Hank became so successful at raiding human food sources that she didn't hibernate over the winter of 2021 to 2022. You just stayed awake all winter and just ate human stuff. Oh my god. Original estimates suggested the bear could also be responsible for as many as 150 incidents of aggressive behavior, behavior, spurring state and local officials to discuss euthanizing her. Uh-oh. However, officials commuted Hank's death sentence after DNA evidence showed there were actually 3 local bears that exhibited similar behavior patterns. Oh, dude. It was like a Hank the Tank team. Removing Hank from the area proved to be more difficult than expected. Traps placed by state wildlife officers failed. It wasn't until March of 2023 that wildlife biologists discovered Hank the Tank and her 3 cubs. Oh, Hank's a girl. I guess Hank is, despite Hank being the manliest name, Hank, I guess it's Hanka, maybe? Or Hanky? So Hank the Tank and her 3 cubs were living underneath a residential porch. They were able to immobilize and tag all 3 of the bears. However, Hank shed her collar back in May. Evidence continued that she continued her burglary spree, with officials using DNA to link her to 21 break-ins between February of 2022 and May of 2023. She's just going, dude. She's going. Oh, yeah, Henrietta the Tank is what it is. Okay, so they moved Henrietta the Tank to the plains of eastern Colorado, and her cubs went to the Sonoma County Wildlife Rescue in California. Well, there we go. All's well that ends well. Hank the Tank, guys. $5 from 3x3 Nilo, pretending to be a tard. You have been asked about left-wing leaders. You have been attacked like Trump insurrection, and you claim of magical liberal books. Nilo, you're fucking schizo, dude. I don't know what you're saying. What do you want me to say about left-wing leaders? What do you want me to say about like the Trump insurrection? What do you want me to say about magical liberal books? Like, what are you talking about, dude? What the fuck? Like, what is this schizo bullshit? Ciro, thanks for joining the $5 club. I'm late for the stream. Just to say, I hope Archcast arguing, etc. isn't messing with your home life. Memes aside, internet BS should not be ruining IRL. I agree. I agree with you. No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. We have a lot of fun in the Archcast. It's okay. Denounce Biden. No. Okay. It is because the Jets suck. News Jersey man blames his DWI arrest on the New York Jets. Look at this guy's face. Look at this guy's face, dude. He's like, yep, that's me. Maybe you're wondering how I got into this position. Okay. Sports have the power to make you feel a certain type of way. And that can be both a good thing and a bad thing. For tortured fan bases like those who root for the New York Jets, all they have really felt as they've cheered on gangrene is disappointment, heartbreak, and grief. It's honestly a miracle that some sports teams who have struggled for decades have any fans left. Year after year, the New York Jets trot out a team full of hope and rip the hearts out of their fans. Their struggles and quarterback carousel this year has made this popular story from 2018 go viral once more. Oh, this is like from 2018. Okay. It went re-viral. Okay. All right. Blue no matter who. No, Dagoth, you fucking shit stirrer. Okay. This 57-year-old man was arrested in New Jersey. He would be certainly better off discounting his Jets fandom after he rear-ended another vehicle. He was reportedly driving around about an hour after the Jets were blown out by the Bills, 41-1, or as 41-10 maybe is a 1-0, when he struck another vehicle with his own. When police arrived at the scene, they immediately suspected that the New Jersey man was impaired, and upon inspecting his vehicle, they found an open bottle of whiskey and evidence of marijuana use. The officers at the scene asked why he had been drinking and driving, and the man pulled out an excuse that is technically valid. It doesn't have the power to get you out of trouble. It's because the New York Jets suck. Driving around with an open bottle of whiskey and marijuana, and you crash your car. Why? Because the New York Jets suck. Oh my god, dude. Tricky Mario, $5. One of the regular panelists in the 1970s version of Match Game was a woman named Brett Summers. If you ever watch that show, it's funny as hell. I never heard of it, dude, but thank you. 3x3 Nilo for $2. Check his ex in my Twitter over the last 2 days playing the Tard. Dude, just ask me what you want to ask me. Like, why are you going like full retard like this? Just ask me what you want to ask me. Okay. One Piece creator demanded Netflix reshoot numerous scenes for live action adaptation because they weren't good to put out into the world. Based. Apparently, the Netflix adaptation of One Piece is actually pretty decent. And considering that Netflix has this reputation of making completely shit shows, the fact that the original creator shows up and is like, no, you must reshoot. Fuck you. Good for him. In honor of One Piece Day, which commemorates the franchise's 1997 launch in Japan, Netflix unveiled the latest trailer for the live-action adaptation. I think it's already out at this point. This is an older article, but okay. We're going to pause this. Adapted from the best-selling manga, Netflix's latest action-packed One Piece trailer features iconic scenes from the Straw Hat Pirates' adventures in the East Blue and gives fans a first look at McKinley Belcher III's Arlong, confirming the 8-episode first season will at least cover up to the manga's Arlong Park arc. In addition, Netflix confirmed the original One Piece Japanese anime voice actors will reprise their roles for the Japanese version of the live-action adaptation. Oh, cool. There they go. Alongside the trailer, Netflix released a letter from the series creator and executive producer, Ichiro Oda, who revealed he had a no-compromise policy based throughout the entire adaptation process with Tomorrow Studios, which included demanding reshoots of scenes where he deemed necessary. So listen, for those of you who watched this, I haven't seen it. Was it actually good? I keep hearing it's good. Like, they actually made it work. You know what I mean? $5 from Jiggy. Dev, have you or anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do more like? Nice, dude. Thank you. $5 from Stug. Thanks. Live action One Piece is actually good. It's true. Not without its flaws, of course, but overall pretty well done, I think. Excellent. Ethan Rogers, $5. The issue with V's corruption take is that it means either revolution or that corruption doesn't actually matter. Yeah, that's like something I've been thinking about, right? Like, you have people out here who are saying the election was rigged, and then at the same time they say it wasn't January 6th was not an insurrection, and I'm like, are you guys cucks? Because here's the thing: if the election actually was rigged, then performing an insurrection against the usurpers is actually like morally justified. So how come you're straddling the line here? Like, shouldn't you proudly say, yes, it was an insurrection, and it only sucks that we failed, if you actually believe the election was rigged? Like, how come you guys are being limp dicks about this? Like, go full on. Fuck. And no, V is wrong about it, right? Like, V doesn't seem to understand the difference between high trust and low trust cultures and societies. I don't like the implications of that. Isn't really an argument. Swift Sword, that is most arguments opposing me, though. There's so many arguments where they're like, yeah, nothing wrong was done here that we can see, but isn't it weird that they did this? And it's like, no, it's not. Jesus. Okay. And here is our headliner, fellas. Here's our thumbnail. Houston rapper Viper has been arrested after allegedly holding a woman in captivity for years. Holy shit. $10 Emperor Creatine. Thank you, dude. Netflix One Piece is pretty good with adaptation. I think it could have been better with 10 episodes instead of 8 to give them more wiggle room for a few backstory elements, though. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. Lee Carter, this happened yesterday, by the way. Lee Carter, a Houston-based rapper who performs under the stage name Viper, has been arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping after allegedly holding a woman captive in his home for 4 to 5 years. Holy fuck. The alleged victim told police that she was kidnapped by Carter while she was panhandling. While in Carter's captivity, she was forced to live in his garage, where she was repeatedly sexually assaulted and deprived of a bathroom or shower. He also allegedly forced her to take crack cocaine and other narcotics. So this guy just like picks up a homeless woman and just rapes her for 5 years. Holy shit. When they found the woman, she weighed approximately 70 pounds. She was wearing filthy clothes and had crusty hair. The garage contained a mattress covered in fresh vomit, a makeshift toilet, and a dripping faucet, as well as piles of diapers, bags of chips, and Twinkies. He's being held on a $100,000 bond, and he goes to court for a preliminary hearing tomorrow. Was this guy like a big deal? The Houston rapper Viper. Like, this is fucking wild, guys. Here he is. Lee Arthur Carter, known professionally by... Is that the same name? Yeah, Lee Carter. Known professionally by his stage name Viper, is an American rapper and record producer. I'm back, I think. Are we still going? What's going on? Are we back? Yeah, so I think Restream shit itself temporarily because I had no errors on my end whatsoever on my OBS or anything. It just wouldn't transmit. So I think it was Restream. Because YouTube worked, Twitch worked, Kick worked, but Restream might have just died. Okay, welcome back. I'm back. I lost like 200 people though, but it's okay. These things happen. Went from 500 to 200. Hello, the true fans who waited. By the way, all you true fans, make sure that you're here tonight or possibly tomorrow night for the gaming stream. Anyway, that's the deal with this guy. And also, you know what? We're almost at the end of the stream anyway. We only have like one article to do left, so maybe I should have just ended it, but let's keep going. Let's finish it up. This is from August, so it's old, but I still want to talk about it because it's kind of funny. As a summer wave of COVID-19 hits the U.S., questions about vaccines, quarantine, and testing are back. So this isn't really worth talking about, but basically they were pushing, if you guys remember 6 months ago, they were pushing like another round of lockdowns and mandates and bullshit, right? They were pushing that 6 months ago, and no one wanted it, right? Now you had right-wingers who were saying, they're going to bring it back. We're all going to get fucked again. I can't believe, oh my God. Oh. Now, they were correct in that here's the worldwide cases, right? Here's the COVID case. There's a big spike in 2022 in March or February. There was a big spike in January 2023. People were saying COVID's in the rise again. And there was no rise. They were just like fear mongering, right? So like nothing was fucking going on, right? For this new COVID rise to happen. But also, this stuff didn't happen, did it? Right? Like vaccine mandates didn't come back. Quarantine didn't come back. Required testing didn't come back. And I'm kind of reminded, like, there was a lot of rightoids who were screaming that this stuff was going to be permanent. That we were going to be living under the COVID lockdown regime forever. And you just had to get used to the new normal. Where is the new normal? Like, we seem to have gone back to the old normal, guys. Like, this is why I don't trust the conspiracy theories that come out of the right wing, is because, at least in terms of COVID, they have like 99% turned out to be not true, right? Like, we don't see continuous lockdowns. We don't see like people are not forcing you to get the vaccine. A lot of this shit has been rolled back. And in fact, people who like got fired for not getting the vaccine, which I disagree with, by the way, they're all getting like they're getting their jobs back. They're getting public apologies. Like even though like COVID was real and the vaccines overwhelmingly work and the vaccines aren't fucking bad for you, even though that's all true, like the social overreach failed when it comes to COVID. People got sick of their shit, and we do not actually live in a permanent COVID authoritarian dictatorship. All right, like that stuff ended up all being false. Maybe there's no new normal because there was enough pushback from the broader public, and good, but nonetheless, there's still no new normal, right? A lot of them turned out to be true, dude. Like, are you still being is your phone still being scanned for a vax passport when you go to a restaurant? This is just more repressive tolerance from the snotling. What are you fucking talking about? Me saying that you were wrong is repressive tolerance? I mean, I still see people wearing masks in public sometimes, and like they're goofy, but it's their right to do that, you know? But like, no, I think the whole new normal, like, we're gonna be living this forever. It was never gonna happen, man. As soon as COVID became a non-issue, with proper vaccine rollout, with people getting normalized to it being around, with lots of herd immunity due to both vaccines and people naturally getting the virus, as soon as we reached that stage, like the saturation stage, all this shit was always going to go away. I even remember saying back then, like, there's a fair chance this stuff will just go away. And I was right. Now, there are some people who did some very bad things. We shouldn't forget them. But this idea that like the prediction of we're going to live in a totalitarian dark age of COVID management ended up not being true. You know? Your country shut down bank accounts. For what? For not getting a vaccine? No. They shut down a few bank accounts, which they shouldn't have done it, by the way, but they shut them down for the trucker protesters. You know, if you just refuse to get the vaccine and just live your daily life, you weren't losing your bank account here. They lifted restrictions because of their polls. Yes, Art. Yeah, I know that's Artemis, not Artemis. That's Avalon. Yes, and that's good, right? Like, they wanted to implement something. They realized it was unpopular. They stopped. Isn't that how it should be? Truckers protesting what? Hold on. Are you guys actually under the impression that every single person who was at the trucker protest lost their bank account? Like, do you actually think that? Like, that isn't what happened. They should lift restrictions because of the practical effects, not because of the polls. Well, in a democracy, politicians care about the polls. And that's by design. And it's honestly probably a good thing. Like, if you think that your elected representatives should actually be implementing the will of the people, if they do what is popular because that's what gets votes, then they should care about the polls, right? Hold on. So what, dead, forgive and forget? Oh no, I didn't say forgive and forget. I didn't say that at all. I literally just said we should remember those people who did some bad things. But this idea that we were headed towards a COVID totalitarian nightmare was false. It was false back then, and it ended up being false. Oh, don't worry, Sparkles. That video's coming too. One day. Governments wanted to continue implementation of the new normal for other reasons. And did they? I don't think the new normal is not here, guys. Guys, where's the new normal? Are we living in it? We should elect people because of their competence. Yeah, but you're still electing them is the point. You're still bringing them in through a vote, right? It's still ultimately going to be what people want. The elected representatives should do what is effective, not what is popular. Not a democracy. Like, they're elected. They're not appointed, right? To be elected means that you are being elected by the entire population, or by the population, right? And therefore, you serve to represent the population. Therefore, you should do what you're voted in to do, which is enact the population's will, even if that will is stupid. $20 from Sean King. Thank you. There are people who are saying that COVID is just a form of the flu and then saying that the flu rate is down worldwide. The truth is now people actually are staying home when they're sick and not going into work or school. That's probably better. Yeah. They didn't get away with it, so guys, so forget about it. When did I say forget about it? Like, you're just schizoing out, dude. Like, you're actually a fucking schizoid. No, I'm not pretending to be a populist. What I'm saying is, like, there are some ways in which government should be populist and some ways in which it should not be, right? And it really just depends. And insofar as the actions of elected officials is concerned, that should basically be directly correlated to the desires of the population. However, for judges or for like appointed officials, it's not correlated to what the population wants. Hold on. Name the names, fatty. We know you are seeing me. Hold on. You shifted from like the royal we talking for many people, but then you say me, so you're clearly talking about yourself. Shouldn't you say I know you are seeing me? Or did you want to make your comment seem like it had more weight by pretending there's more people behind it? The government helps shape what the population wants. It's the art of propaganda. If that were true, then Trump would not be nearly as popular as he is, because the Democrats don't want Trump to be popular, and the Republican establishment doesn't want Trump to be popular. If it was all just the government shaping the population's desires, then Trump would be out. It's clearly not the case, right? Anyway, even though we lost a few hundred viewers because of the internet outage, it's the end of the sip. Thanks for being here. Let's go raid Chud Logic, guys. I need in the lips with tongue sparkles. I thought you said you're gonna stop being horny in the chat. But up. Okay, so listen, new content coming soon, new server coming soon. Probably 50-50 on bonus stream tonight, definitely a stream tomorrow. One guy. Yeah, I got one guy who lives in Des Walls. Anyway, let's go raid Chud Logic. Thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your donations and support. You guys truly are the best. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one. I love you.